What's going on, guys? We got a new member of the family. I was watching Harvey Spooner's channel last night, and he was talking about, people on Craigslist are selling stuff cheap because of the time of year it is. And like a dumb butt, I get on Craigslist and I walk away with a bike. So, this thing here, the guy said the timing chain was slapping, and he said it never jumped time. The timing chain was slapping. He put a new chain in it, and he did change the cam to another used one, but just better. I'll show you the rockers here in a minute, but he gave me like 3 valve covers, and all of them have junk rockers in them, so I just have to find the best valve cover out of them and get some new rockers. Looks like one of the 2 CDI boxes is missing. I'm guessing this was probably the reverse, which has a rev limit. And sometimes people will rig these on the other side of the engine. Sorry about the wind. There's wires that hooks down here for your lights and stuff for neutral and reverse, and through that switches it over to the other CDI box when you put it in reverse. And you can rig that so that it just runs off the primary box, which is DC. So back tires are, worn, but they hold air and they're good. The front tires are junk. I don't know if you can see the weather cracking and stuff in it. And this one holds air, at least for right now it does. The other one does not. It has some big plugs and stuff on the other side. But, yeah, big plug sticking out of it, so they're junk. Let's see, I don't know if I mentioned it. I paid $400 for it, which it's actually pretty good. I mean, I bought in ones that's in way worse condition than this and paid more. So I think the 250X that has something else, a different engine on it, I paid more than that for it. And there was lots of wore out things. Plastics, nothing to brag about. They're pretty rugged. That fender there is completely worthless. One side's missing. 2 front ends are usable, and there's a back end here that's usable, but it's cracked. A couple different spots. Seat's junk. And we got a duct tape seat and stock muffler, which there's a massive dent on the other side. And then stock pipe, which that pipe's really little for really little. I think some of the ones I've had has been bigger than that, but at least I think. And we got the gas tank and side case. And you can see here we got several rockers. I think somebody's grounded these because they're like, rounded, but kind of evenly rounded, and they're junk. They're supposed to hump up some. And then, well, you can see what I'm saying when you see some of these other ones. See, these ones are kind of dipped in, but have a hump on each side. So then we're junk. And you see how this is kind of worn, junk. So just find a cover that's not cracked, and I'll probably run them on a flat surface against a big sheet of emery cloth and see if it's bent any. But I'll just find which ones, once you run it on that flat surface on that emery cloth, if it's bent, it's going to have a bunch of spots or a spot that doesn't touch. And there's all kinds of crap in here. But one thing, when you get a box of engine parts like this, it's kind of good to be familiar with the engine anyways, because you know, I'll put it back together. We got a United States Postal Service box. So where I got it from, somebody must work for the Postal Service or something. But given that I got this, I think there's going to be a little change of plans with what I'm going to do with certain things around here. For everyday rider, I think I might give this thing here a while. It's I just got it back running, and I'll just run it for a while, and then I'll probably take these plastics off this and put blend back together. I'll probably just put the new engine in it and put the black plastics on here, and probably just put like the crappiest parts that's still usable but kind of crappy on this thing and make it an everyday rider. I want to recondition 2 of them, and even though this one here has a Chinese engine in it, it was a really good install. The engine's in there nice and straight. When the suspension travels, everything works great on it as far as like the chain tension when the suspension travels. A good straight frame, everything, I'll get tear it all apart, recondition, repaint each piece, and get a new plastics and stuff for it. And then the same way with the 300. I've always wanted a 300ex, and you see I have a couple different engines, and I got this thing here and the 250X, which I basically got all this stuff at separate times. When I got this bike, it actually came with a 300ex engine on it, but it was all busted. Like the whole bottom of it was busted, and the insides, the top end completely disintegrated. So, and then I put this engine on, and then later on I got an engine and I put it on there, and that was my first 300ex engine. And then I got the one from the scrapyard, which is pretty good shape. But kind of got all this stuff in separate times. If you're ever wondering why I just don't have 300EXs, given I have the engines and the bikes, but kind of just how it worked out. But the performance of this engine is it's not a hill climber, but it has speed. It will climb up hills and stuff like first gear, but it seems to have more of a road gear kind of configuration, and it's fun going flying across fields and stuff with, but it just doesn't do very good in the woods, climbing up steep banks. But overall, I like the sound of it, and I like the performance overall, I think. And yeah, the engine that's on that is low geared. It'll climb a mountain. It's not fast. 35 maybe, 30. It's all the faster it goes. But you can pull a tank with it. So, all right. Well, I'm not gonna get after that thing anytime soon. It's just something I seen, and I'm like, I want that, for $400. Most of the time around here, a bike like that in that kind of condition, it's usually a minimum of $800. I mean, you're gonna pay. It's another thing about it too, I can show you. Best I can tell, it's a 2002. The last 2 numbers on there says 02, so I would have to figure that's probably what it is. The ball joints seem good. The Heim joints right here, I think there's some bad ones. And then the joints and the shocks, I think they're kind of shot. On the rear end, I just kind of wobbled around. I think that everything's good with that. It does have an aftermarket carrier in it. But there's stuff on here that I've never seen, like this. You know, this right here probably hooks to the valve cover, and, you know, hooks to the air cleaner and all that. I've never had any of these that had any of this stuff. I've had this tube here, and somebody would put like a washable, like K&N type of thing on here. And I've had those boxes too. I don't have the lid for it, so it might as well not even be on there. But yeah, this like PVC, you know, vent system I've never owned. Most of the time I just run a tube out of the valve cover and just run it down and zip tie it so that, you know, mud's just not going to make it all the way up that, you know. But probably I just tear this motor off, take it all apart, and give it a visual on everything that's in it, because, you know, it's alright if you're riding something and you know its condition, and you end up with, you know, starts to smoke. Well, you just, you know, you kind of have an idea what things you need to get to fix it. This I've never seen run. I can't see spending money on it, putting it together, and just to discover that somebody shortcutted somewhere else or overlooked it, and it's just, you know, it was a waste of your time. But alright, well, I guess I'll catch you guys later, and thanks for watching and commenting and subscribing. See ya.